January the 14th, 2014. And we're going to go ahead and call this evening's City Council meeting to order. The mayor is traveling this evening on city business and will join us if and when her plane lands from out of town, if she's able to be here. If you will, please, Jasmine Felix from FIU, please come to the microphone. Everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, good night, everyone. Welcome to the Town Hall meeting. My name is Jasmine Felix, hailing from Florida International University, and I will be leading you in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you will put your right hand over your chest and look towards the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Thank you, Jasmine. If you will, remain standing. Pastor Michelle Simone from the House of the Living God will provide us a invocation this evening.
Heavenly Father, we are here gathered in your presence to seek your face, your grace and your mercy. Father God, at this time, I pray that you will bestow your spirit upon this congregation tonight, the council members, all of us that are here tonight. We're asking for your holy presence, O God, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of counsel and power, the spirit of the reverence of the Lord, and the spirit of knowledge be upon us all tonight, Father God. We pray that all of us that are here tonight will come to the realization that we are here for the well-being of the city of North Miami, Father God. And all spirit that is not of you will leave this place now. Father, we praise you. We worship you. Father God, we pray that your peace that surpasses all understanding will reign in our heart, our mind, and our lives. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please be seated. Mr. City Clerk, will you please call us to order with the roll call?
Councilwoman Steriel. Here. Vice Mayor Galvin.
Here.
Mayor Thundro. Councilman Bieneme.
Here.
Councilwoman Keys.
Here.
Vice Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Are there any additions, deletions, or amendments to tonight's order of business?
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Vice Mayor and Council. Yes, there is. I'd like to bring your attention to, I believe it's going to be tab F, as in Frank. I'd like to amend the resolution to remove Biscayne Landing as a site, and just to add that the merit and the main mission of this is to hire the environmental law firm in the event that we do any Brownsfield. Not all of these locations may or may not be applicable. Biscayne Landing I like to remove because the developer would like to explore their options with the legality of it and how it would be advantageous to them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manager. And Madam City Attorney, do you feel that that slight variation in the language requires a continued first reading, or are we okay?
No, we're okay with this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Any other additions or deletions to the order of business?
That would be it.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to special presentations. We'd like to welcome, well, everybody come on down front. The first that we're going to do is the recognition of John Stimbridge of Stimbridge Furniture. Former Mayor John Stimbridge, I know, is in the room this evening, so some council members come on down, and Mr. Stimbridge, Mayor Stimbridge, come on over as well. Tonight's recognition to former Mayor Stimbridge, John Stimbridge of Stimbridge Furniture, which is right across the street on 125th. If you didn't know, go check them out. This is in recognition of your sponsorship to benefit the Joseph family of North Miami, featured in a Miami Herald 2013 Wish Book article. Your continuous dedication to the North Miami community is held in the highest regard, and we can't even say that that's lightly. It is the highest regard. So thank you very much, Mayor Stimbridge, for your dedication.
Thank you.
Are Cool and Dre in the house tonight? Oh, there you are. I wasn't going to do this if you weren't in the house, so making sure that you're here. The next recognition goes to a couple of North Miami High pioneers who are amazingly well established in the music business. Not only have they done a lot to put a lot of acts, including their own, on the charts, they do a lot for our community on a continuing basis. Cool and Dre, come on forward if you will, please. These recognitions for Cool and Dre are in recognition of a successful first annual Cool and Dre Toy Drive celebration on Saturday, December 21st of 2013 at Cagney Park in the city of North Miami. Over 300 toys were distributed at the event. Gentlemen, your commitment to the North Miami and the North Miami Pioneer community is greatly appreciated and held at the highest regard. These guys are music titans. I don't know if you realize how lucky we are they're here tonight. All right, the next recognitions are for the Sun-Kissed Grove Real McCoy Holiday Decor contest. Thank you very much. Trying to think of a better word for that. Many of you remember LB McCoy, who passed away this last year. And LB was an activist in the Sun-Kissed Grove community. I don't know, Councilwoman, do you want to make this presentation? You haven't? This year, in his memory, the Sun-Kissed Grove Homeowners Association decided to have a competition amongst homeowners out there for the best holiday decorations. So I don't know if they're all here tonight, but we'd like to recognize the following.
No.
I don't know. Diana Vasquez, third place finisher. Diana, are you here? All right. The second place finisher was Angelina Paul. Angelina. And the grand prize winner, they're all busy, so it's a work night. The grand prize winner of the first annual 2013 Real McCoy Holiday Decoration Contest was Melanie Lewis Pierre. Melanie, are you here? All right. Well, we'll make sure that everybody gets these plaques a little bit later, and we want to thank all of the judges, including Mayor Tondreau, who were willing to drive around and take a look at all the lights. It was a lot of fun, and we certainly say thank you to the Sun-Kissed Grove Homeowners Association for doing this. It's very appreciated when people take ownership of their own neighborhoods. Thank you, guys. Luckily, it's not glass. Our next presentation is, I'm going to let Councilwoman Sterrill make this presentation because it's actually for one of her events. So, Councilwoman Sterrill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is on behalf of the City of North Miami. I think Manny just arrived from FedEx. That we, every year that FedEx sponsor the toy drive, although that we do have a toy drive here in the city of North Miami, but we're collecting toys in collaboration with the school board, different schools. The kids are actually collecting toys, and we have business owners that actually provide money to the city. We buy toys, the universities provide toys as well. But again, even with the toys that we have, it couldn't be possible without FedEx. FedEx has been the biggest sponsor for the toy drive in Haiti. Usually, not only they take the toys to Haiti, they pick it up here, they take it to Haiti, and they do pay for the franchise fees for us as well. And again, Maddie, thank you so much on behalf of the city of North Miami and the children of Haiti for helping us with the toy drive. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny. That concludes our special presentations for tonight. City events next by Pam Solomon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and to our viewers at home on Channel 77. On behalf of the City of North Miami, it gives me great pleasure to share with you a list of our highlights of upcoming events for the month of January 2014. Starting tomorrow, we have our Candlelight Vigil in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King, and this is an annual event hosted by the North Miami University Relations Board. It kicks off at 6 p.m. right next door to City Hall in the Mocha Plaza. It's a beautiful presentation done by our local students. We have performers from our K through 12 schools here in North Miami, as well as the colleges and universities that perform spoken word, dance, music, all to honor the work and the vision of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we invite you to come out tomorrow, Wednesday, January 15th at 6 p.m. for that event. On Thursday, January 16th, right here in this room in the council chambers at North Miami City Hall, Mayor Tundra will host a capital improvement downtown revitalization workshop, and the workshop will focus on our recently adopted downtown master plan. So for business owners in the community as well as residents, we invite you to come out, voice your ideas, voice your concerns, and learn a little bit about the master plan and the next steps that we have to start revitalizing our downtown area. For more information, you may contact the Office of the Mayor and Council at 305-895-9815. This Saturday, we have our Walk This Way Family Fun Day event. It's the third Saturday of every month, and it's a part of Mayor Tundra's Walk This Way initiative to get the community out and active and walking in our local parks. We challenge you to take 1 million steps towards better health, and we're actually almost at our goal since kicking off the program last fall. So the event takes place at Cagney Park, which is located at 13498 Northeast 8th Avenue. It's basically the track area of North Miami Senior High School. It's on Saturday, January 18th, and it kicks off bright and early at 7 a.m. We're out there from 7 to 9 walking the track at Cagney Park. So please join us. You can log on to our website at northmiamifl.gov/celebrate to find out all of the information for the events that we're talking about this evening, as well as a little bit more information about the Walk This Way program, because we do have self-guided evenings at some of our parks where you can walk and log your miles or log your steps with us as well. Also a reminder, North Miami's administrative offices will be closed on Monday, January 20th in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King holiday. And on Tuesday, January 21st, MoCA, or Museum of Contemporary Art, and the North Miami Public Library are collaborating to host an open house for teen classes, teen programs that will take place at the North Miami Public Library starting January 21st that week. The open house will take place from 3 to 4 p.m. So teens, those watching at home, can come out to the library at 835 Northeast 132nd Street to find out more about these free programs that include drawing, painting, photography, fashion design, film, and a lot more. So join us. You can visit mocanomi.org or contact MoCA at 305-893-6211 for additional information. On Wednesday, January 22nd, Councilwoman Carol Keys will host a code compliance workshop right here in the council chambers. That also takes place at 6 p.m. And we're inviting residents as well as businesses to attend this workshop as we seek public input on issues such as code compliance procedures and minimum housing procedures prior to making updates to our city's code. For more information, you can contact the Office of the Mayor and Council at 305-895-9815 or 305-895-9818. And last but not least, I'd like to share with you, if you are in the area of North Miami Senior High School, this Friday, January 17th, our North Miami Police Department will be collaborating with the Miami-Dade County Public Schools Police Department with an active shooter training. So if you do see law enforcement activity in the area of the high school, it is not something you should be concerned with. It is part of a drill exercise that is being performed by our police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. And now to the city manager for the 2014 update on city projects.
We invite our Assistant Public Works Director, Mr. Kareth Fittler, to come and give us our updates.
All right.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council. I'm gonna bring you up to speed on three upcoming projects in the city. The first one's gonna be North Bayshore Park pedestrian walkway. The scope of this project is to reconstruct an estimated 450 linear feet of pedestrian walkway that was damaged during Hurricane Wilma, my apologies. This would allow public access to the Biscayne Bay and the Intracoastal. We also want to rebuild this deck to higher elevations. Also, we would like to have ADA accessible 2-pedestal water fountain with a built-in water bottle filler. We also would like to install low-level lighting, along with if we can explore some security options. Basically, after speaking to a few residents in the nearby area, security was some of the concerns when we do plan on doing this project. This was a video shot by one of the residents during Hurricane Wilma. However, I don't think it's going to play, but basically that's how the whole entire deck was wiped out during that storm. This is an aerial shot of the original pier, what it looked like, an aerial. The budgeted amount, I'm sorry, hold on, let me go back. This is the original pier. This is the damage to the pier after the hurricane, and this is what we currently have. Basically, the piles are just there, along with the substructure to build the deck. So we had to get an analysis done on that. These are some other pictures of it. The budget for this project is $600,000. This is actually going to be a 50-50 match grant. The grant is for $300,000. So we'll have to come up with $300,000, and the grant is for $300,000. Okay. The next project I want to talk about is PAL, the training facility. Basically, we were at a point where we were negotiating with the lowest possible vendor. So I'm going to bring you up to speed on where we are with this project. This project basically is to get a design-build company on board to design a training facility with 2 boxing rings that would seat about 250 guests for tournaments, a fitness gym, staff offices, 4 study rooms, and an activity room located at the southeast corner of 8th Avenue and northeast 135th Street. The budget for this particular project is $1 million, and this would be coming from, of course, the City of North Miami Progress 2013 funds. We're in 2014 now, but we started it then. This is an aerial of the site. It's basically this area here where I'm moving the cursor. This is a street view of the site. The lowest proposal that we received was, even though the budget was for $1 million, it was 1.163. After we had some concerns in regards to design and also the budget to see if we can negotiate down. However, after going back to the drawing board and come up with a better design, because this was basically a box, this is what they came back with. However, his budget went up to $1.4 million, basically after redesigning the building. So that's where we are now. We're gonna probably discuss it and see how we're gonna move forward with this particular project. Here's another look at the other shot, another rendering. Okay. Last project I want to talk about is the Rux Park project. This particular project used to be where the Pioneer Gardens was gonna be built. This was when CRA was over it. This particular project has developed 6.28 acres of environmentally challenged land on Rux Park, located at Northeast 5th Avenue and Northeast 137th Street. The budget for this project is $5 million. The funding source is a GOB, general obligation bond from Miami-Dade County. This is the site. Some of the amenities we would like to have is a spray ground, concession stand, basketball courts, restroom, multi-purpose field, playground, sidewalks, on-premise storage area, fencing, bleachers, furnishing, sports lighting, shelters, and parking spaces. This is the site. There's some other things that I'm going to now turn it over to the Public Works Director, Aleem Ghani, to talk about some of the environmental issues that we have with the site. Okay.
As you're well aware, Aleem Ghani, Public Works Director. The city owned this property, and it was given to the CRA, a short history, and then was, given back to the city because of some of the environmental challenges we had in developing the property. And one of the things is because of the structures there, it used to be an old wastewater facility. There's contamination. The three major sources of contamination is ammonia, arsenic, and fecal, and together with some other pesticides herbicides that was on the site. And those are the four major components or environmental contaminants that DERM has made us aware of, and we are trying to remediate the site to move forward. There's groundwater contamination, as you see. Next one. Basically, if you look at the map, it shows the ammonia levels, the arsenic levels, and also the fecal areas that are contaminated. And these are just a snapshot of what we have on the site. That's it. Presently, we actually met with DERM, and we are moving forward concurrently with putting out an RFP for the design and also the remediation for the complete project. DERM is actually working with us in helping locate some of the monitoring wells for the remediation system. So we are putting together, as part of the whole package, a remediation system together with the design of the spray park as well. Thank you.
Last but not least, there's another project, Cagney North. This is going to be a park. Right now, we're working with the school board. They had some reorganization that was done to their construction department. So we're going to be meeting with them soon, and I'll have an update for you at our next meeting. Okay? All right.
Question.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Sterrell.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, for Vice Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
The boardwalk.
Yes.
I understand that is a matching fund for $300,000 each. So who will be providing? Is it the state or federal?
Actually,
What's the grant source?
That particular grant is a federal grant, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I believe it's the Fish and Wildlife.
What is it?
It's called a FINE grant.
FINE grant.
Okay.
And I believe it's a state grant. Natasha applied for that grant. We were able to get it with Parks and Recreation. We had allotted funds for that, so the balance of those funds would be available. So once we are certain that we got the grant.
Okay.
And so that's why it's matched.
So as of now, the only money that we really in our bank is $300,000. We don't
That's
have
correct.
$600,000.
That's correct.
We
But we
allotted 600,000 when we did the Biscayne Landing funding.
Oh, okay.
We
That's what I
allotted
remember.
funding for that.
We allotted
Yeah.
450,000 for
Correct.
that project. So if
Correct,
we
with the
get
anticipation of getting the grant.
So if we
Yes.
get 300 from the feds
Mhm.
and we take our 450,000, we're more than
Enough.
what we need.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the matching grant is only for 300, so,
Right.
yeah,
So
Okay.
if we put 300, they put 300, gives us
So we
another
have more than
150
enough.
yeah. We
Correct.
should have more than enough.
that's correct.
Okay. So
Do-
do we already have a design? We already design it?
No,
or-
the plan is to do a design bill. We haven't secured a vendor yet.
So how do we come up with the price?
Oh, we had an
Estimate?
analysis done. Yeah, we had an estimate done from a professional, and that's the estimate that we came up with to redo the deck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's mine. It's not a concern, but I walked there. I drove there, and
Mm-hmm.
I saw the place. And unfortunately, I think that we don't sell the different parks that we have in the city enough. Because if people actually know what's out there, we would have constructed that walk a long time ago. And it's so unfortunate that after how many years it's now that, and we spend a lot of money in the city. So having saying that, this is one of the projects that I really encourage you guys to tap on and to do it as soon as possible.
No problem, we'll do.
The last Brooks Park.
Yes.
Do we have any idea? I know that the county gave $5 million,
Correct.
and from I know I'm just trying to comparing what we're doing right now with Biscayne Landing, which I understand that Biscayne Landing is much larger than Rocks Park. Do we have any idea how much the remediation system will cost us? Anything at all?
Not at this time. Actually, there was a meeting with the county yesterday, I believe, to add some additional monitoring wells in an easement area because of the contamination. So that's where we are right now. We were waiting to actually meet with the county to see what additional requirements they're going to have for us in order to develop the park. Now that we're kind of moving forward with the county, then we can go ahead and start figuring out how much it's going to cost to do the remediation of it.
With the $5 million, do you guys question the county if that's the only thing that we can do, the remediation? I mean, while we still finding money for the park, would they allow us to do so, or we have to wait until we have fund to do whatever
question.
construction might be?
Good question. Right now, they have released $500,000 for design purposes. I did ask the question to Miami-Dade County, can we use some of the funding for cleanup? And they basically said if it's part of construction, that's probably a possibility.
Nice.
So, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr.
Any other
Chair.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else?
I have a question
Councilman
about
Bill.
Yes, sir.
the walkway with Bayshore. Would we be able to fish there?
Good question. I don't have an answer
They
on
used
that.
to
I'm
always
sorry.
fish there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a just
Yeah.
walk.
There was even a little.
It's a fishing. It's gonna be a fishing pier.
fish cleaning.
Well, from what I understand, it was back in the day. It was used. People used to walk out on the deck,
That I've
maybe
seen.
have their lunch or something, sightsee, that sort of thing. But I heard it was really nice. However, I did speak to a couple residents, and their biggest thing is security as well, because at night that was the concern. So we want to try and incorporate some of the security features if we can.
We just
But-
have to treat it as any other parks in the city.
Definitely.
Sunset that we actually close it.
Definitely.
But Alim,
Just
you won't be
one-
a fishing pier.
Yeah, actually, we are trying to reestablish the site similar to what was there before. At the
Okay.
end of the
Pier.
with the pilings, we're going to put an area that was 15 by 15. But the only difference we're looking at is making it ADA accessible and also elevating the structure. So if there's any wave action, it wouldn't damage the pier and the structure like what happened the last time. So that is going to be part of what our design criteria would be. But we will be able to fish there, yes.
It's a beautiful place.
As long as you don't hit the rocks.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Just a quick note from me on the Rux Park GOB, General Obligation Bond. Let's move quick on that. We're so lucky that Commissioner Monesteem got us that money and continues to roll it over. And one of these years, if we're not lucky, they're going to yank that money from us. So the quicker we can spend that money, the better. And again, thank you to Commissioner Jean Monesteem for his role in making sure that money was available to us.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
All
if
right.
you can use some of that money to clean up the field, that would be great.
Yeah. All right, thank you. We're going to now move on to Citizens Forum. It's that part of the agenda where residents can rise to speak on any item that's not already else on the agenda. Citizens Forum is now open.
Good evening, everyone. William Previtel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive, and hope everyone had good holidays. Just wanted to follow up on two things, actually. Follow up on the discussion just now on North Bay Shore Park, and not to drill it in, but to have something for, so we don't make the same mistake in the future. I live in the area and had very soon, a day or so after the hurricane had gone on the pier, every part of the pier, and I'd also taken a kayak below the pier. And in my opinion, as a licensed architect, I believe that 90%, if not more, of that structure was intact. That includes the concrete pilings, the caps for them, the major beams, the supports, the elements that were anchoring it in place, the planks, although some of the planking, the decking was missing, and in a couple locations the handrails were removed. But keep in mind, that structure that remained survived the entire hurricane and all of the surge and such. It was obviously a pretty good structure. And rather than, and I remember thinking this to myself, wow, I could get person or two, we can go to Home Depot, we can have this thing secured in a day or two, and probably in a month you could have the whole thing repaired. And here it is, more than 8 years later, at a cost of, which will probably be $600,000, but probably $500,000 or so more than what should have been. Plus the fact that our city, the good people of our city, have not been able to use this prime location for the last 8 years. It's really a tragedy. And I hope in the future, if we get some sort of disaster like this that is not repeated, that we use a little bit more common sense and not do two things: cater to possibly an engineer who reviewed it and wanted it to be so cover their tail that they'll just say, well, let's rip out the entire thing, or to the local politics that said, this is really kind of an inconvenience, that I have my priorities and my privileges being there in the water, but I don't want anybody else to use them. And I think that's the key to this. And unfortunately, that has impacted our city and has been a detriment to our city, and I hope the park is fully improved as you're planning. I am in full support of our current Director of Public Works, Director Ghani, and his team, and again, I just hope we don't repeat the mistake. As a quick side note, I know that we'll be voting on tonight on some facade improvement programs. Similarly, not to make a comment on
30 seconds to
very quick.
finish, sir.
Okay. I'm not to compromise their applications now, but going forward, can we think about putting the money towards the streetscape rather than individual private investments? Let's put it towards trees, signage, lighting, paving patterns, bus stops, seating. Even if you had to say it's on private ground 20 feet within a street, but not put it in the sort of the pockets of the individual property owners, whether it's residential or commercial. Let's put it onto the street, which is part of our entire community, which will enhance the entire region. Thank you very much for your consideration, as always.
Thank you, Mr. Preptel. Is there anybody else who would like to speak under Citizens Forum? Seeing none, Citizens Forum is now closed. We're going to now address the consent agenda. Are there any of the three items under consent tonight that one of the council members would like to move off for general discussion?
Mr. Manager, we were supposed to have a presentation from Public Works before we voted on tab C, and also you were going to put the bids online. Was that done?
The rep from the company, Sun Recycling, is here. I do apologize. I should have had him up during the presentation to add that, but yet he is here if the council desires to have a presentation from him. And the
Okay.
bid is online, yes.
Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Keys, would you like to move tab C off of the consent agenda?
Please.
All right. All those in favor of moving tab C off of consent and onto the regular agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Seeing none. Tabs A and B stand alone as our consent agenda this evening. Is there a motion to approve the
Motion to
consent
approve
agenda? Moved by
consent.
Councilwoman Keys. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Councilwoman Sterrell. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Passes 4-0. Tab C, Mr. City Clerk.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the selection of Sun Recycling LLC as contractor for the provision of recyclable waste processing services in accordance with the invitation for bid number 50-12-13, further authorizing the city manager to execute a recycling services agreement in substantially the attached form between the city of North Miami and the selected contractor for a term of 2 years and for a source of revenue to the city in the amount of $23 per ton of program recyclable materials, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. First, I'm going to ask for a summation of the situation from city staff before we move to other comments from the contractor and the public. Mr. Manager, what is this that's before us this evening?
Okay. The city did have a contract with another company who was doing our recycling. We were contacted by that company at the end of that contract, or at least at the year's end. Either party could give notification that they would like to end the services, either the city or that contractor. We received notification that that contractor could no longer provide the services at the cost that that was consistent with the agreement. At that time, we knew that we had to go out to bid. There was a lapse of period that we had asked our current hauler to provide the recycling for us until we got the bid done. The city's procurement process went forth through an RFP process, and Sun Recycling came in as the bidder that benefited the city by paying the city $23 per ton. And that's what's before you tonight.
Before I open it up to the Sun Recycling to make a presentation, anybody from council have a question they want to ask first?
Yeah, I have a question.
Councilman Biename?
What's the name of that company that ended a contract?
That we ended the contract
Yeah.
with?
Waste services.
Waste service, yeah.
Westfall, right?
I thought
No,
it was
waste
Recycle Bank.
services.
No. There's just two clarifications. Waste Services was the company that actually received the city's recycling. They paid the city $11.25 per ton of recyclables delivered to them. The pickup service was done by Waste Pro and delivered to the facility. Upon delivery to the facility, the recyclables are weighed, and the city got $11.25 per ton. That contract lapsed, as the city manager said. We then went out for bid. Sun Recycling won the bid. Presently, their bid is $23 per ton to the city. So it's actually almost doubling the price that we've been getting.
That mean Westport still gonna pick it up.
That's correct. Contractually, Waste Pro is under contract to still pick up the city's recycling, residential recycling, and deliver it to the Sun Recycling facility.
I have a question.
Any other questions,
do.
Councilman Biename? Councilwoman Keys?
In your presentation, I'd like the assurance to myself and the residents that that our recyclables will in fact be recycled properly and not just combined with other garbage. Also, in the past, we did have incentives, and the residents like that. They got coupons, they got money. Right now, there's no monetary or any type of incentive, and I think that we, going forward, should be able to entice our residents, encourage them to recycle. And incentives like coupons or something does make it more fun and does make it more interesting for the residents. Otherwise, they don't have a great incentive just to toss their recyclables with the rest of the garbage. And we do want to encourage environmentally sensitive. We want to be a green city. We do want to recycle, but we do need to give an incentive to our residents who are not so inclined.
Two things before we move on, Councilwoman. I think we'll address those two items you ask. The first one is the Public Works Department do encourage recycling, and we try our best. And as you know, contractually, we had some challenges, and we're working on them. The second thing that I want to bring forward is we do have brochures and public education programs that or pamphlets that the city do provide to all the residential properties, and it's online as well. All this information is online. We will be making some new ones, encouraging the residents to recycle. On the recycling program that Recycle Bank has done, they actually sent us a notification recently that they are not going to honor the contract and until we have something else in place, until we get some sort of agreement back in place with them or put it back out for bid. So I think based on direction from the manager and council, then that service or the recycling incentive program would have to go back out to bid. With that, I'd like to present Mr. John Casagrande, who won the bid from Sun Recycling.
Mr. Casagrande, please.
Good evening, Council, City staff. My name is John Casagrande with Sun Recycling. Happy to be here and looking forward to a relationship with the City of North Miami with the recycling. Sun Recycling has been recycling in South Florida for about 15 years. We have started out in the construction and demolition recycling business, and we've expanded that role into scrap metal, commercial and multifamily, and our newest facility is a single stream facility that we intend to recycle all your curbside residential recycling with. We are currently contracted with 18 municipalities within Broward County to recycle their single stream curbside waste, and North Miami will be our first entry into the Miami-Dade County market. We recycle, I guess, all the commodities. Our facility there, you'll see we recycle cardboard. This here, you're looking at a brand new facility. We invite anyone from the city staff or the council to come visit our facility. It's brand new, out of the box, state-of-the-art equipment. We're hoping to recycle up to 85 to 90% of the material that is brought into the facility. Our material is sold to make sure to the councilwoman's request. We broker all the commodities through 3 or 4 different brokers looking for the best price possible. Currently, right now, if you look at this is our current pricing. Our cardboard is brokered through 3 different companies and exported out through to China. Mixed paper as well is exported out through China. Steel cans, aluminum cans, and all our plastic is sold domestically in the United States, and the glass is sent to a strategic recycling over in Sarasota. So everything, 100% of the material that is that is recyclable does get recycled out. It's pretty simple. We've been doing it a long time. Myself, I've been at my experience with recycling has been about almost 15 years with single stream. It's been working very well. And again, I invite you all to come out there and take a look at it while it's being done. Questions?
All right. Thank you. Before we go any further, I'd like to open this item up for public discussion. Is there anybody from the public this evening who wishes to discuss this item? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Council, any further questions for Mr. Casagrande or for staff?
Move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Second, just a point of personal privilege for questioning. I would like to see us get back to the incentives. What do we need to do to, as Mr. Gania just brought up, reestablish coupons and other incentives like that for our residents?
We will be looking at Recycle Bank as to what we can do, looking at that contract, having our new procurement individual look at that, and the possibilities and/or putting it back out to bid to bring in another company that would offer incentives.
All right, thank you. There's been a motion made by Councilwoman Sterl and seconded by Councilwoman Keys.
The other way around.
Sorry. I'm new at this job. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose?
Just for the record, Vice Mayor, the motion was made by Keys and seconded by Stereo, just so that we can have a clear record.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to tab D. Mr. City Clerk.
Tab D, proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city administration to exceed the maximum award amount per eligible property under the Northwest 7th Avenue Commercial Facade Program guidelines from $80,000 to $105,000 in order to provide additional assistance for one commercial facade rehabilitation project for the property located at 13090 Northwest 7th Avenue, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, would you please give us a summation of the situation?
Sure, Vice Mayor and Council. As you know, last year, $1 million was allotted to the 7th Avenue corridor for a commercial facade program. Guidelines was set for $80,000 per project. We have come across situations such as this where the work that is being done exceeds or far exceeds in the opinion of the applicant. Therefore, their proposal and request comes before this council for those seeking funds above and beyond the $80,000 limit. So tonight we have a second applicant being Gator Investment, proposing 2 sites to exceed that $80,000 guideline level.
All right. We're going to ask Gator Investments to make a presentation now, then we'll have some public input, and then we'll have council discussion. Please identify yourself, name and address for the record, and give us your presentation.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council. My name is Dave Miller. I'm the owner's rep and project manager for Gator Investments. We have 2 projects on the agenda, like the city manager just spoke about. So I'll make a general presentation about both projects, and then we can discuss each one separately afterwards. And I promise to be as brief as possible. First and foremost, we'd like to thank the council. We're very appreciative for this opportunity to possibly partner with the city, and we thank you for your consideration for both of our projects. And we'd specifically like to thank Councilwoman Sterl and recognize her for her insight and vision for the 7th Avenue corridor. We believe in our concept to reinvigorate the area, and we believe the corridor has tremendous potential. So, again, and without this program, we probably wouldn't be here today. So, thank you again, Councilwoman Sterl, for initiating this program. We'd also like to thank the staff for approaching us with the idea of renovating both of our properties and the vote of confidence in our ability to perform the renovations. Like we said, we own 2 major commercial properties on Northwest 7th Avenue. We own the New Wave Foods property, which is a shopping center we have a large grocery store, New Wave Foods, and we have 3 other tenants within the shopping center today. We also have a property across the street, catty corner from 129th Street. It's a strip mall right on 130th and Northwest 7th Avenue. And you can see these are the photos of how the properties exist today. Now, we are here today to partner with the city for 2 exciting projects in the heart of the commercial corridor that will make a dynamic impact on the surrounding area. And we'd like to show the new renderings. We are requesting 2 grants from within the Northwest 7th Avenue Commercial Facade Program. we're requesting $225,000 for the New Way Foods property on the left, and we're requesting $105,000 for the strip mall in 130th Caddy Corner across the street. Like I said, the program was pioneered by Councilwoman Sterl to help local businesses attract new customers and make a significant impact on the marketability of the surrounding area. And we are 100% confident that our projects will do that, and this will start a chain reaction on 7th Avenue. The reason we're presenting to Council today is the requested grant amounts exceed the guidelines that were originally established by staff under the program. And we do understand that the program may have some flexibility that gives priority to shopping centers, strip malls, and large properties on the corridor. The two properties we're talking about renovating are some of the larger properties right there in the middle of the corridor. So we would appreciate some flexibility. Our, like I said, we share Councilwoman Sterl's vision for the corridor, and we believe that it has great potential. We've been in the area for quite some time. Our headquarters are on 163rd Street. We own the Manor Court Apartments on 135th and Northeast 3rd Court, I believe. And we just recently purchased many properties along the Northwest 7th Avenue corridor, not just within the city of North Miami, but also in the surrounding area. And we are just now completing a similar project on Northwest 36th Street and Northwest 17th Avenue. This project is very similar and was sponsored by the city of Miami. And we have some before and after photos to show you. Like I said, we partnered with the city there. They put in about $400,000, and we contributed about $200,000. And we're already seeing an impact. And the business owners couldn't be happier. Please take a look at those photos. It's been a great change to the area. Real quickly about the scope of work. The pictures speak for themselves. We're going to be making renovations in accordance with the photos, which include three basic categories. The first is all the work contributed to the facade program. Facade renovation, the crown molding, the stone accents, the storefront replacements, the building signage, adding lighting, a new pylon sign, etc. In addition to the facade renovation, we're going to increase the curb appeal. I think one of the residents spoke about that earlier. We're going to be adding the landscaping, the curbing, the lighting, some brick pavers as you enter into the properties to really give it a nice look and a good experience for people that come to shop at the center. And the third thing is we want to add a Dollar General. It's one of their new prototype stores. Brand new, really nice shopping experience that provides the local residents with quality products at affordable prices. I truly believe this is a win-win-win for the city, the community, and Gator. Gator Investments is a proven, established developer and property owner that's here for the long run, willing to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we've seen a trend in the area with some fast food restaurants that came up, and we want to keep the momentum going on the retail side. So we want to make this area nicer and start a synergy that will help other properties in the area. But initially, we do believe that it needs a combination of government and corporate money to work in conjunction with each other and work to make this happen. So in conclusion and in summary, I'd just like to highlight some of the project benefits. Number one, we improve the quality of life for residents. Number two, we modernize two key buildings in the heart of the commercial corridor with a fresh new look. Number three, we add curb appeal, landscaping, ADA accessibility improvements, lighting upgrades to the main strip there on 441. We build a brand new store that will provide affordability and convenience to the residents. Number five, we introduce better uses to the property that will encourage others to follow. Number six, We create new permanent jobs for local residents and temporary jobs for local contractors. We create a new, vibrant shopping experience on the corridor. So I'd like to thank the staff for all their help work leading up to this and their recommendation for approval. We want to make both properties nice, so we hope you take advantage of this opportunity. We want to make a statement together with the city. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, anybody from the public wishes to be heard on tab D this evening? Public hearing is now open. Seeing none, public hearing is, I was just about to recognize you.
I know, I was about to do the same
If
thing.
you've been sitting there all night, I just noticed it now. Former Councilman Jean Marcellus is here with us this evening. Councilman, do you want to come forward and speak?
Just a question.
Good to see you, Councilman.
Thank you. Jean Marcellus, 615 Northeast 140 Street. One question I have for the Gators investment, since they're going to make a very nice improvement, very better facade, are you guys going to increase the rent on the tenants?
My name is Jim Goldsmith, and with Gator Investments also. The truth of the matter is, when you do these kind of projects, rents do not increase right away. It's a long-term process because the neighborhood right now can only support so much rent given the entire neighborhood. So as the entire neighborhood changes, and many projects have newer facades, yes, rents in the long run, property values will go up for both the commercial and the residential. What it does in the short term is it makes it more inviting for people to go there. It makes it more inviting for, maybe we can get some more national tenants. Maybe you can get an AT&T store in the neighborhood. Maybe you can get a Verizon store. There are stores that people that live in this general community would like to have within half a mile of their residence. The other benefit is, in the long run, if the commercial is nice when people come to buy a house, the housing values will go up. So it's a long-term process. We were new to buying these properties here. We purchased them a year ago. We saw some activity beginning with Burger King and Polo Tropical, and we were hoping to follow. And it's not easy to lease to get these national tenants to come here, but I mean, Aaron's came. So as we get more national tenants and we can mix them with good local tenants that serve the community specifically, I think all will benefit. But to answer your question, in the short run, there is not really much rental growth. In our projects, one of the tenants has a very long-term lease. New Wave Supermarket has a lease for, I think, 20 years. He deserves to be there. He was there for a long time. What we would like to see him do is, if the facade program gets done and Dollar General goes in, if he would make the next step and put some new grocery counters in and make the place nicer for the community, it would be great. And so it's just a start. And one project won't make it all occur, but it's one, then one, then one, and then all of a sudden it becomes self-sufficient. Right now it's tough economically to do stuff there. That's probably why you don't see that much activity in the area, but we're hoping this will lead to more. And the more that it leads to, the better for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Councilman Marcellus. Good to see you tonight. Are there anybody else from the public who'd like to speak under this item? Seeing. Yes, sir. If you please come to the microphone and give us your name and address, please.
Name is Junior Jackson. My address is 12985 Northwest 7. The owner of the Ventura Restaurant. And Gator, they're doing a good job over there. They keep the place clean and lighting at night and looking good. And my rent still remains the same way. I didn't get a raise. So we look forward for Gator to make improvement on the building. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Seeing none, public hearing on item D is now closed. Council, any questions?
I'll
Councilwoman
speak.
Keys?
Questions, of course. One, I would like to disclose that I did speak to the applicant this week. I don't know if they spoke to anybody else. I think the project is terrific. I would like to ask, how much money has been spent on the facade program to date? Do you know, Mr. Manager?
That's a question for staff.
Of the overall 1 million that we allocated, is this the first time we spent any of it, or
we
have we
only
spent?
have one applicant.
140.
One applicant that came before the council.
Was it the Pizza Hut, the one on
No.
136th or so?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
that one was an applicant that exceeded, whose request exceeded the 80,000.
Do you recall approximately how much that was, or does anybody on
140.
staff?
I would like to
140.
say 140.
140?
Yeah.
So
That's
we've-
the one where we're going to have the substation, the police substation,
Yes.
something like that? Yeah.
Yes.
140.
Yeah, it's funny, I relate it to a
140,
Pizza Hut.
160, something.
Yeah.
So we have
140,
860.
140.
So we have approximately $860,000 with which to work.
Correct.
Okay. That being said, for people who have asked me, I just want to make it clear that they're not asking the city for additional funds. This money has already been allocated for the facade program of Northwest 7th, and they're just asking for a little bit more of that allocation. As I said 2 weeks ago, I will defer to Councilwoman Sterrell. It's your facade program, and if that's what you would like, I'm all for it. I think it looks great. I think it's a great idea. And, I know what I wanted to say. I would just recommend Councilwoman Sterrell through Vice Mayor, Mr. Prevotel had some really good ideas, and if, the reason I'm asking why, how much money had been spent is maybe if not all of the business owners are interested in using the money for facade, you use some of that money ourselves to fix up the streetscapes, benches, trees, lighting. That's all.
All right, thank you. Any other council members' questions? If not, a motion would be in order.
No, I was waiting for any. I didn't want to talk over.
Councilwoman
I wanna
Still,
be
you
here.
have
But
the floor.
anyways, thank you, Vice Mayor. Again, I really appreciate the support and the privilege to actually take this into consideration. I have to disclose that I met with the applicant, I think twice or once through the city manager. Yes, I understand that we need money for streetscape and all that, but right now, understanding that $1 million has been there, and myself has been working very hard to recruit business owners, not tenants, but the owner of the building to actually work. The sidewalks and the streets, the parking lot, still this is not city property. Even if we choose to spend money, it will be tenants because that's their land. But I think that I would rather encourage the facade program because we will make a greater impact. As the applicant mentioned earlier, in order for us to support or encourage Pro Tropical, I don't know if you guys remember, we actually gave them $250,000, which is a very big corporation, and I think that this is one of the reasons that many other applicants like Gators interested to come to City of North Miami, specifically 7th Avenue. So having said that, I am suggesting that we discuss this item one item at a time, which is the first item. I don't know if the city clerk already read it, or is already been read?
Yeah, it's already been read.
So,
This is
okay,
technically
I
tab D.
move this item as read on the record.
All right, tab D has been moved by Councilwoman Sterrell. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Second by Councilwoman Keys. Any further discussion from the City Council? If there's none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Passes 4-0. Tab E is related. Tab E, Mr. City Clerk.
Proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city administration to exceed the maximum award amount per eligible property under the Northwest 7th Avenue Commercial Facade Program guidelines from $80,000 to $225,000 in order to provide additional assistance for one commercial facade rehabilitation project for the property located at 12955 Northwest 7th Avenue, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Right, Gator Investments, do you have anything further? You presented on both properties under the last item, but is there anything else you'd like to present at this time? All right. Seeing no further presentation, anybody from the community wish to speak on this item? Please come forward and give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Neil Hall, 445 Northwest 88 Terrace. My question has to do with a brand that one is trying to develop with the facade. Are we looking to establish a look that is part of North Miami, or it is just whatever look that is part of the owner's decision? As a question. And number two, why do we spend so much money on one or two buildings when $1 million could be spent and broaden that appeal? For us to spend close to $300,000 on one facade and another $80,000 or more on another facade is I think is money not well spent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Anybody else? All right, seeing no further questions from the community, Mr. Johnson, can you quickly answer Mr. Hall's question regarding, do we have a standardized facade look that we're going for, or is the facade design something that's established by the property owner?
We do have a standard look that we are presenting to all of our applicants.
Okay, and will the Gator investment proposals on both sides of 7th Avenue fall in line with that standardized look?
Yes.
If Mr. Hall would like to get a look at that standardized look, can he contact the city manager's office? Or
yes.
how? All right, Mr. Hall, if you haven't seen it before and you're interested, please, after this evening, follow up with the city manager's office to get a visual of what it will look like in the future. Anybody from council have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have an amendment to the item. Instead of 205, what is it, 225, I would make a motion to approve this item, $160,000.
160?
Yes, sir.
All right, there's a motion on the table for $160,000 for tab E. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Councilman Bieneme. Any discussion from council under the amended $160,000 amount? Seeing none, all those in favor of tab E as amended, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Measure passes 4-0. Congratulations, guys, and thank you. Welcome to North Miami. We're glad to have your presence and look forward to the renovations. We'll now move on to tab F. Mr. City Clerk.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the sole source selection of the Goldstein Environmental Law Firm, PA, as consultant for the provision of environmental legal and consulting services in connection with the Brownfield area designation of city of North Miami properties known as Rux Park, Claude Pepper Park, and Biscayne Landing. Further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to execute an agreement with the selected consultant in substantially the attached form for the provision of services, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, will you summarize for us where we are this evening?
This item has come about as we had begun to embark on our capital improvement plan and to finding funding sources and other opportunities to attract developers. One of the key things is to, as you will see in this presentation, is to capitalize on the Brownsfield application, wherein there are certain incentives that exists for cities that Mr. Goldstein can go further into. We selected Mr. Goldstein based upon his background, extensive background in environmental law, as he was a participant in helping to write the law. So we figured that it would be advantageous that when an application is done, being that he knows the background, there is a higher certainty of success with that application. Again, just to reiterate what I had mentioned before, Biscayne Landing is not a site at this time.
Thank you. I assume Mr. Goldstein?
He is here.
Mr. Goldstein, will you please give us a presentation?
Absolutely.